Welcome to the Elliott Alert. I have today my guest, Reverend Clarence J.C. Love Thornton.
Yeah.
How are you, sir?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Glad to be here.
Thank you. And I know that you have a radio station.
Yes.
Can you tell us a little bit about it?
Well, it's joynetradio.com.
Okay.
JOYNET radio.com. You know, when people put it in, because we're referred to as the Joy Network.
The Joy
And
Network.
so sometimes when they go in on the online to get it, they go just put in JoyNet. But if you put in joynetradio.com and Google it, it'll come straight to you. It'll start coming at you so fast it'll scare you.
That's right. But hey, if it scares you, it plays gospel, so it'll save you as well.
Yeah. You get scared right into heaven.
That's right. Now, can you tell me, how did you come to get this radio station?
My journey to this point has been a more than 20-year journey.
Wow.
About 25 years. I've been in radio here in Arkansas.
Okay. And
worked with some of the large, huge corporate. Started out though with a small company, Willis Broadcasting. And then,
is that where your mentor was from? I remember you talking about your mentor.
Yeah. Well, I have a couple of mentors, but I work with Larry Hawkins. Got me started, and he was my first to train me. But Willis Broadcasting. Then from there, I went to Citadel Communications. Okay. And then from there to Clear Channel Communications, and Clear Channel is the largest broadcast entity in the world. Yeah. You talking about some high cotton there. Yeah. Well, and I learned a lot. I learned a great deal, and but discovered that ownership is where I needed to be. Yes. Knew that a long time ago, but didn't know that my journey would get me here.
And see, that's amazing that as young African American folks, we can take a journey like that to ownership. Right. And you being able to see that early on, knowing that was your destination. I mean, that's outstanding.
Right. I remember when I was in the Air Force. I was at the Little Rock Air Force Base from '84 to '89, and I remember telling one of my sergeants that I was going to own a radio station. He's probably still laughing today. That was right. That was probably back in '86, somewhere in there. And he said, he thought it was a far stretch. But I wish I knew where he was now. So, give him a shout out on the radio. Yeah. I still remember his name, but never mind. Right. Never mind.
But I tell you, if we have some young people inspiring, how would they achieve such a thing? Because like you said, it was a 20-year journey. Right. And through that 20-year journey, it was a lot. I'm sure you got educated a lot in it.
Yeah, absolutely. That would be my recommendation, is that they would learn the ropes. Right. From the inside out. I know I've read some books about Sam Walton and some other great men and women who've started businesses, but the great ones, when they train their children, they bring them in, but they bring them in on the ground floor. Right. Make them take out trash, and then then wash the dishes, and then, they have to work their way up. And what that is not only the humiliation process, a submission process, but it is also the training. You need to learn everything you need to know. Right. They used to have a term. I used to DJ a long time ago in Memphis. That was before I was a preacher. Right. It was before then. In the clubs in Memphis, and they would talk about, because every club DJ wants to be on the radio. Right. And so they would tell us then that don't be a dumb old jock, which means you're only good for talking on the microphone. Right. And what they were saying was, learn everything you can. Learn how to produce a commercial, and what sales is all about, and management and administration, and all those things. Some of us can only sound good as we're introducing songs, and that you limit yourself. You limit yourself. Right. And I think that's a testimony to making sure that you're well-rounded, because you find a lot of people who may have a good voice, but I mean, if you don't know anything else about your tool,
then you're just limited to that good voice.
And you're only as valuable to that company as what they can do with you. I mean, if all you can do is talk, then I mean, it's just you're not that valuable to the bottom line.
Right.
When you do bring something to the table, you're a talent. However, there's some other things that you need to be able to bring to the table. If you can talk and produce commercials and write commercials and sell commercials, you become extremely valuable to that company.
Right. Well, I'm glad you said that. We're going to talk about the multi-faceted world of radio. Okay. We'll be right back.
They say that when you're facing extreme danger, your life flashes before you. If you think that's sad, consider facing it before you even have enough life to flash before your eyes. Car crashes are a leading killer of children 1 to 13. Deaths and injuries can be prevented by using the right car seat. Visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat to know what is appropriate for each age and size.
But it would be safe to keep your distance until the
No secret that laughter makes you smile.
reliable sources say that chicken soup has found their way out of this dangerous, but they are returned.
Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. Go to discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to the Elliott Alert. Again, my guest today is Reverend Clarence J.C. Love Thornton. Now, you're known on your radio station as J.C. Love.
Right. J.C. Loves. And that's with an S.
Okay, Loves.
Because people ask me, what is, because a lot of times when people get to know me, they didn't know that my real name that has happened recently.
Right.
Somebody didn't know what my real name was.
Right.
J.C. Loves is what they know
usually
me as.
call, yeah, exactly.
And they said, well, where did that come from? Well, if you just take some time and think about it, I play gospel music on my radio station.
Okay.
And I've been in gospel radio for the last 20 years, more than 20 years. So JC Loves stands for
Loves Gospel.
Jesus Christ Loves. That's what it stands
Jesus
for.
Christ.
There you go. You did it.
Yeah, I got it. I got it now.
Yeah.
And see, a lot of times people will think that, playing gospel music isn't profitable, but I beg to differ. I think, we have such a strong Arkansas gospel base here in this area. What do you think about that?
Well, some years ago, maybe 15, somebody recognized how profitable gospel music had become. Yeah. Popular. It had become. And so you saw at that point 15 years ago a lot of that's how corporate people that's how I started working for people like Citadel and Clear Channel, because they realized the popularity of the format. They started buying up gospel stations. Then you started seeing record labels who normally do Sony and the big Universal and those kinds of people having gospel divisions because they recognized that the popularity of it. And they recognized that, especially in the African American community, no matter what you did on Saturday night, you went to church on Sunday morning.
That's right. That's right.
And so, and that was the base, and so, but the profitability of it we got to be careful of because a lot of those corporations who started working with the format learned that if your main thrust is money, you're not going to be successful at it.
Right.
You got to have a passion for what you're doing and a genuine pursuit after it. If not, and I don't, I am a preacher. You have me on here, so but God is not going to let you pimp His word. He's just not going to let you do it. So if your main thrust is to make some money, you probably don't need to go into this. Right. You can make some money, and some of us do okay. Right. But
well, you look like you're doing pretty well.
I do all right.
You blessed.
Yeah. Well, praise His name.
Right.
Yeah.
And I tell you something, gospel music has changed. You said the last 15 years. Yeah. I think people like. What's that? Pastor,
Donnie McClurkin?
Donnie McClurkin.
Is that who you're thinking about?
Yeah, Donnie McClurkin, I'm losing my, the one who does Stomp, what's his name?
Yeah, that's Kirk Franklin.
Kirk Franklin.
Yeah.
Don't send me to hell because I forget. I know him. I listen to him too. Yeah, okay. I promise I do.
All right.
But Kirk Franklin and Donnie McClurkin kind of changed the whole system of gospel music. Do you think so, or am I off base?
Well, Kurt ushered in. Kurt was a catalyst or vehicle that God was using to usher in a new day for gospel music. Now, there have always been contemporary gospel artists who did mainstream work, which is what Kurt does. Okay. And what I mean by that is, if you watch the old Stax Watts concert back in the Al Bell and all them did put together the Stax Watts concert. Well, they had some great gospel artists on that service or on that show. Right. And people like the Mighty Clouds of Joy. Right. And of course, Walter and Edwin Hawkins have always been considered contemporary. Right. And of course, Mahalia Jackson was always accepted mainstream. So, but when Kurt did it, Kurt ushered in the new generation to do it. Right. And it opened up all kinds of doors. And now there are a lot of people who, gospel artists who are being played on what we call urban stations and other formats. So I mean in regular rotation. So that's great.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I think that new generation kind of kicked the door open and made a lot of people more aware of gospel music and its power. Yeah. So I mean that's great. We have to go on break, and when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about that door being thrust open.
Wow.
All right.
Spend 15 minutes watching online videos like this one.
Brushing for 2 minutes now can save your child from severe tooth pain later. 2 minutes, twice a day. They have the time.
Try and avoid sneezing into your hand because you just contaminate them and then spread those germs everywhere. Focus on sneezing into your elbow, like this, and then you don't contaminate your hands. Turn on the water, wet your hands, apply a good amount of soap and lather up, and then focus on washing your hands for about 20 seconds, about the time it takes to sing Happy Birthday twice. Focus on washing the front of your hands, the back, in between the fingers, around the nails, and so on. And then rinse everything off. Use something to wipe your hands after that, preferably something disposable like a paper towel, and then use that to turn off the tap as well. If you get a chance, use that to also open the door to the bathroom as you're leaving. The best way to wash your hands is using running water and soap, but sometimes we don't have that available. So think about carrying with you a hand sanitizer. That should have at least 60% alcohol content.
For more information, visit www.cdc.gov or call 1-800-CDC-INFO.
Welcome back to the Elliott Alert. Again, my guest today is, Clarence J.C. Loves Thornton.
Yeah.
Last time I said J.C. Love, but you made me tell J.C. Loves.
Right.
Okay, because you know he's also a reverend too.
Yeah.
So I don't want none of his members calling me saying that boy don't know what he talking about. But I just want to ask you. We were talking about the gospel music and the explosion in the last 15 years. Do you think that explosion has actually touched a lot of the youth or a lot of other people to get more involved in gospel music? Absolutely.
I think that Donna Creer, who recently passed, was a great partner of mine, and we did a show together for about 20 years.
Oh, okay.
18, 20 years, somewhere in there. And she had this saying that what we discovered a few years ago was that gospel music is not just for church anymore. It's not just for Sunday mornings anymore. We even had a drop that we played. That's the announcer on the radio.
Well, you gotta break it down.
Yeah, I'm sorry. The guy, we had a drop that did that on the station that we were on at that time, where we said, gospel music, it's not just for Sunday mornings anymore. And so, yes, the spectrum has been broadened tremendously. Everybody's listening to gospel music in the car, in the on the internet.
And when you work out, I've been working out. It may not look like it, but I'm much bigger than this. But I work out and I listen to gospel music. So and I hear a lot of other people listen to it as well. So it's taken on its own form. And to me, more it's like a movement. And also, it's really good to be able to reach people when they desperately need it. Sometimes it's a song when you're going through something that'll help you out.
Absolutely. When the passion for gospel music and the great thing about gospel music is there have been a lot of people who have called us and said, I was thinking about doing bad or was feeling down or whatever, and I turned on the radio and it inspired me, and that's what we do. That's what it's all about.
It is. And I think that's great because a lot of times you don't know what people are going through. You don't know their story, and when you turn on the radio or you turn to a station and that particular artist is telling you some things that they're going through.
Exactly.
And I mean, they're ministering to your heart. So it helps you to get a clear story, a clear vision of the direction you need to go to. And like you said, it's a passion. It's a passion that a person has to have.
Absolutely, absolutely. And there's also that something else that Donna Creer and I worked on is that there's a professional end of it. I mean, you can't just be a out of control, wild, screaming, speaking in tongues. I mean, in the middle.
But you can speak in tongues, but you're not in the middle. Because I done heard you on the radio and I heard you speak in tongues.
I mean, you can't walk in the middle of Kroger and go to squalling, so that passion has to be there. But we have to know how to present the gospel, and so that it's a broad spectrum, because that's what it's all about, us sharing the gospel.
Now, you're, as I said before, you also are a reverend. Now, what church do you?
I pastor the Macedonia Baptist Church of Little Rock. 1723 East 3rd Street.
That's right.
Let me get in this camera right.
That's right.
1723 East 3rd Street in Little Rock, and the Macedonia Baptist Church. I've been there about 12 years now.
Okay.
As their pastor. Before that, I pastored the Happy Home Baptist Church.
Okay. All right.
In Jefferson, Arkansas. So,
okay.
So
well, hey, I wanted to make sure that you were able to send them that shout out, because I ain't want none of your members as I go to Little Rock, running me off the road. You ain't tell my pastor. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
But we really appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
And tell me once again, how does a person tune into your station?
Go to joynetradio.com, JOYNET radio, the word radio.com. Go there, and if you Google it, it'll come to you faster because it's in the Google network. So joynetradio.com. There's a big, huge blue button that says "Listen here," and if you miss that, I'm gonna have to pray for you. But you can get it on your phone, on your phone, iPad, or wherever. Yeah.
So now, is it 24 hours a day?
Absolutely, it's a 24-hour gospel station.
Okay.
And we do what they call backhauling, which means that some local stations pick up some of our signals and some of our shows and that kind of thing. So
now, if I wanted to advertise, do you guys accept advertising like a fella like me?
Oh God, yes.
Oh, hallelujah!
I can't pay the bills at the end of the month if you don't advertise.
That's right.
So there's a place on the site where you can go, but you can also call the office at 501-246-5124.
Okay.
And if you call that number, that's our office number, and leave a message, or my office manager will get it, and we'll definitely get you some advertising.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to make sure that people know, even though we got the gospel, we also deal with advertising too, like you say, to help pay the bill.
Yeah. Well, when I go to Entergy, I tell them praise the Lord, and they say, yeah, good. But do you have a check?
That's right. So that's right. And Energy want they check when they want it.
They want it immediately.
Immediately. Yeah. Well, I just want to thank you for coming on the Elliott Alert and let you know, Pastor J.C. Loves.
Yes, sir.
You've just been placed on alert.
All right. Thank you, sir.